Hello, this is Anviti. Welcome to the news with NDTV. It's Monday, March 17th, and coming up in today's episode, Muslim Law Board stages protest at Delhi's Jantar Mantar over Waqf Amendment Bill. Supreme Court's important ruling on Auroville development. Prime Minister Modi on irrelevance of international bodies. And Pakistan Cricket Board makes serious changes after facing over Rs 800 crore loss in Champions Trophy organization. Our country will live according to the Constitution and the principles of its communal harmony. All religions have taught us how to respect others. Congress leader Gaurav Gogoi claimed today during a protest against the Waqf Amendment Bill. He added, quote, "When the bill was proposed, nobody's assent was taken. They did not come to ask you about your opinion," he told the protesters. "We have been telling the country that in this committee, all laws of parliament are being flouted," unquote. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board, or AIMPLB, began their protest against the bill at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi today. AIMPLB member Saeed Qasim Rasool Ilyas, addressing the gathering, called the protest peaceful and urged the administration to support it. He alleged that buses carrying protesters from Uttar Pradesh and Haryana were being stopped, adding, quote, "The government need not be afraid and should listen to the voice of people." AIMIM MP Asaduddin Owaisi, and one of the strongest opponents of the Waqf Amendment Bill, also joined the protest. Mr. Owaisi, who was a part of the Joint Parliamentary Committee on the Waqf Bill, claimed that the ruling party's amendments could lead to the dissolution of Waqf Board. Jagdambika Pal, BJP MP and chairman of the Joint Parliamentary Committee, which looked into the Waqf Board dissent, criticized the AIMPLB for its planned protest against the Waqf Amendment Bill, arguing that it could cause divisions and undermine Parliament's authority to legislate. Quote, "The Joint Parliamentary Committee on Waqf had invited AIMPLB to present their concerns. We took note of the points raised by them. We even included their suggestions in our report. So I fail to understand why they are holding a protest at Jantar Mantar in Delhi. After the amendment, a better law will be formed which will benefit the poor, women, widows, and children through the Waqf system," unquote. Mr. Pal said in an interview with news agency ANI. The Waqf Amendment Bill proposes to make some serious changes in the existing Waqf Board laws, which controls Waqf properties. Among changes are the inclusion of non-Muslim members on the board and the inclusion of a woman. There were 44 amendments proposed by the opposition to the bill during the JPC. However, the opposition claims they were steamrolled into passing a bill without any of their suggestions. The JPC had 16 members from the ruling alliance. The Waqf Amendment Bill has sparked widespread controversy. Last month, BJP MP Jagdambika Pal, chairman of Waqf JPC, presented the committee's report in Parliament after 6 months of nationwide consultations. The protest at Jantar Mantar is a part of a growing pushback against the proposed changes to the Waqf law. Many prominent leaders, including from parties like Congress, AIMIM, Trinamool, have voiced their objection to the bill as well. Meanwhile, some Hindu organizations reached the protest spot to declare there were alleged problematic slogans being chanted and further alleged that Jantar Mantar would be turned into Shaheen Bagh in what could be seen as a dig against the anti-CAA protest, which lasted for months in the Delhi locality just before the COVID-19 pandemic. In a significant ruling on Monday, the Supreme Court overturned a National Green Tribunal, or NGT, order that had stopped Auroville Foundation from carrying out development activities in its township in Puducherry. A bench comprising Justice Bela M. Trivedi and Justice Prasanna B. Varale ruled that the right to development is of equal importance to the right to a clean environment. The court set aside the NGT's decision from April of 2022, stating that it had been passed without jurisdiction and was legally untenable. The Supreme Court added that no evidence has been presented to show a violation of environmental protection laws. However, Justice Trivedi also emphasized the importance of sustainable development, highlighting the need to find a balance between development and environmental preservation. The NGT order had followed an appeal from Navroz Keras Modi, who raised concerns over the cutting of numerous trees by the Auroville Foundation. Modi argued that the area should be classified as a forest and the planned development would damage the green space. In response, the Auroville Foundation stated that it is an international cultural township and should not be considered a forest. The NGT had earlier instructed the foundation to submit a plan for the proposed construction, which included ring roads and industrial areas. It also required the foundation to obtain environmental clearances before any work could proceed. All development activities had been paused until these conditions were met. Auroville is home to around 50,000 people from across the globe. According to its website, the township's purpose is to realize human unity and provide a space where people from all backgrounds can live in peace. The center of the township is a Matri Mandir, a place for meditation, self-reflection, and prayer. Surrounding the Matri Mandir are four main zones: industrial, cultural, residential, and international, with a green space that includes forests, farms, and sanctuaries. This ruling marks a key moment in the ongoing debate between development and environmental protection in Auroville. Breaking from breaking news, Khushbu Kumari, a student from Bihar's Tanapur, has found a new hope of becoming a doctor after a viral video of her emotional breakdown over gender bias at home caught the attention of the union government. In a video by News 18, Kumari explained how she was denied a chance to study science after scoring 399 marks, just one short of the 400 required by her parents, due to financial constraints. Following the video's viral spread, Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan assured her support and promised her education in the science stream. The Patna District Magistrate confirmed her enrollment for the 2025-27 academic session as well. Now, back to news. International organizations such as United Nations are almost irrelevant, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said during his recent appearance on American computer scientist Lex Friedman's podcast, where he shared his thoughts on global issues, his relationship with world leaders, and the importance of dialogue in resolving conflict. During the interview, PM Modi spoke on the state of international organizations like the United Nations, stating that they have become almost irrelevant due to the lack of reform. He emphasized that in today's world, some nations act without regard for laws, and these organizations are unable to stop them. Quote, "The international organizations that were created have become almost irrelevant. There is no reform in them," unquote, PM Modi said, highlighting the need for change. He also reflected on lessons from the COVID-19 pandemic, which exposed the vulnerabilities of nations across the world. Quote, "COVID-19 has exposed the limitations of all of us," unquote, Prime Minister Modi remarked, adding that the world seemed poised for a new world order, but instead the world disintegrated with increasing conflict. He called for a shift from conflict to cooperation, stressing that the world is interdependent and no country can go do it alone. In the podcast, Prime Minister Modi also discussed his relationship with US President Donald Trump. He praised Trump's unwavering dedication, as he called it, to America, recalling how Trump maintained his dedication even after surviving an assassination attempt during his rallying campaign for the 2024 election. Prime Minister Modi drew a parallel between Trump's America First ideology and his own India First approach, saying, and I quote, "These are things that truly resonate," unquote. He also recalled their shared moment during the Howdy Modi event in 2019, where Trump sat in the audience while PM Modi spoke. "That's his humility," PM Modi added. The Prime Minister also reflected on the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, reiterating India's stance that the war can only be resolved through dialogue. He said he has a close relationship with both Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and would advise them to pursue diplomacy over war. Quote, "There will never be a resolution on the battlefield," unquote, he said. On relations with China, PM Modi emphasized the importance of strengthening ties between India and China despite border conflicts. He mentioned that after the recent meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping, conditions at the border are returning to normal. Quote, Trust, enthusiasm, and energy will return, unquote, PM Modi said, expressing hope for a stable, cooperative relationship with China. The Pakistan Cricket Board is facing a significant financial setback after hosting the ICC Champions Trophy, with losses reportedly amounting to 85 million US dollars or approximately 869 crore in Indian rupees. Despite hosting the tournament, Pakistan played only one match at home, which ended in defeat against New Zealand. Following that, they lost to India in Dubai, and their final group match against Bangladesh was washed out. As a result, Pakistan was eliminated from the tournament after just one game in Lahore. Reminded that ICC Champions Trophy was won by India in a glorious match this year. According to a report in the Telegraph India, the PCB invested approximately 18 billion Pakistan rupees, which is approximately $58 million in US currency, to upgrade three stadiums in Rawalpindi, Lahore, and Karachi. However, the cost of these upgrades exceeded the initial budget by 50%. On top of that, the PCB spent another $40 million US on event preparations. In return, the board only earned $6 million US as part of the hosting fee, with ticket sales and sponsorships contributing minimal revenue. The Telegraph India report concludes that PCB's total loss from hosting the ICC Champions Trophy stands at around $85 million. The financial strain is affecting the board's future decisions already. Following the loss, the PCB has reportedly decided to cut match fee for the National T20 Championship by 90% and reduce payments for reserve players by 87.5%. As a report by Pakistan news media outlet Dawn, the PCB had initially reduced match fees from 40,000 Pakistani rupees to 10,000 Pakistani rupees without any formal announcement. However, PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi intervened, rejecting this decision and instructing the board's domestic cricket department to reassess the matter. Additionally, the board had scaled back on player accommodations, replacing five-star hotels with more economical options in an attempt to manage costs. These financial challenges have left the PCB grappling with the aftermath of a costly tournament and searching for ways to recover from the significant losses. That's all for today. You were listening to the news with NDTV, your daily newspaper and TV bulletin wrapped in a compact podcast. If you want to catch up with the day's events in a hurry, do remember to subscribe to the news with NDTV on Apple, Spotify, and the NDTV News app. This is your host Anviti, signing off.